All right, let us tackle the second half of level 1B, the last of the level 1 problems. As usual, I recommend to try out the problems on your own first before we run through them. And then see if the thought processes match up. Or if yours are better than mine. It's certainly possible. Okay, so 16. What's our new auction? 206 now. Okay, we have 3 spades. We're about to have 2 hearts. 1 club, 3 diamonds. It is 8 tricks at the moment. We're going to need some more. The only suit that can give us more tricks is clubs. Actually, I didn't take a quick look at was this deal actually very similar to the previous one? Should have looked ahead. One deal and seen. Okay. Yeah, it's actually a very similar hand. We have 9 clubs, so we have ace 10, ace 10 fifth, and then queen fourth down here. On this hand, though, we have ace 10 sixth and queen fourth down here. Okay, so remember in the previous one, there was only one line to take to get the club tricks that we needed, which was leading the queen from our hand and crushing a singleton jack with righty. With an extra club, we should certainly have some more flexibility. Let's just make sure that's actually what we need to do. Sure looks like it. We have 3 spades, 2 hearts, 3 diamonds, and we're going to have to get all the rest of the tricks and clubs. Given that we're losing a heart, we'd better play clubs for no losers. There's no option on this first one. We have to lose that and take that. And now we need to play the clubs for no losers. Okay, so we have 10 clubs this time. Opponents still have the king jack 9, as they did last time, but they have 1 fewer club. So what are some things that we could hope for? Last time it turned out that hoping for a singleton king didn't actually work. If either player had a singleton king, and we knew they had a singleton king, there still wasn't anything we could do about it. But let's reconsider now that we have 10 clubs. So if lefty had a singleton king, we would crush it with the ace, but that would still leave righty with the jack 9, and only 1 or higher card in our hand, the queen, to take care of it. So if we ran the 10, it would go 10 jack queen, the 9 would be good. Oh, sorry. I'm going to take that back. One of those jack or 9 would have dropped if lefty had singleton king, right? If lefty had singleton king, we play the ace, and now righty has singleton jack, we play the queen, and we're good to go. Similarly, if righty had singleton king, we could play up to the ace, and then play the queen, and we would drop lefty's jack. So, singleton king actually works this time. And regardless of who has singleton king, we could play the ace first. Blindly playing the ace first isn't going to work if somebody has a singleton jack. If righty has singleton jack and we let a club up to the ace, we would fail because lefty would have the winning king. Similarly, if lefty had singleton jack, that we could never pick up. If righty has a guarded king, there's nothing we can do about it. So any combination that we can handle has to involve either the king being on our left or a singleton king with east. So can we handle a 3-0 split? I just said that we can't handle east having the guarded king. So could we handle west having all 3 clubs? At a glance, I don't believe so. Leading the queen from our hand won't work. It'll go queen, king, ace, and then lefty has the jack that wins. If we led low, lefty could put the jack in, force us to win with the ace, and then the king would be good. So we can't handle a 3-0 split on either side. So we should take a look at the 2-0 splits that we can actually handle. And the 2-1 splits rather. And the options there are singleton king with west. That'll work. We play low towards the ace, and the king drops, and we're just good to go. The singleton king with East requires like a guess on our part to play the ace, which may not happen. If West had the king jack exactly, uh, we could okay, actually, sorry, can we? We can't succeed if Lefty has the king jack. So we play low. They play the jack. We have to win with the ace. The king wins. If we play the queen, it goes queen king ace, and the jack wins. Um, so on the 2-1 splits we can handle, they require righty to have one of the honors. Um, okay, so in total, then we need West to have either a singleton king, king small, in which case running the queen is the right choice, and we crush the jack from ready. Jack small, in which case the ace first is the right choice, and it can't be king jack. Now actually putting those all together. So let's see what. So our two basic options here are going to be either leading the queen from our hand, or leading small from our hand towards the ace 10. Which of those wins on different lines or different combinations? So leading the queen wins if righty has singleton jack. Is that it? Is that the only time it wins? Righty with singleton small doesn't work. Righty singleton king doesn't work. So leading the queen works only if East has exactly the singleton jack. So that's like one layout of the cards. Leading low and putting in the 10 when West leads low, or West follows low, works on oh, nothing? Sorry, if West follows low, we couldn't possibly play the 10. Because we need to crush something in Reddy's hand. We can't hope for a 3-0 split from West because we just said that won't work. We play low. If the king shows up, we play the ace, and we're good to go if possible. Like either they're splitting, and the queen wins next, or they're not splitting. We had no chance. If they play the jack, then we probably had no chance ever. And if they play low, we also basically had no chance. What if I'm thinking all through these through all the right way? So I'm gonna go through it one more time. So playing the queen, crush to singleton jack from righty. That's the only combination that works. Which makes me feel like leaving the queen's probably wrong if it only handles one combination. Um, yeah, okay. I think let me like synthesize down all something that's like it. I think I've got it here. Playing the queen only works if East has the singleton jack, like leading the queen. But playing low to the ace works if either person has singleton king. So there's two combinations that work if we play up the ace versus only one if we play the queen. I think that already is enough to say that playing the queen is wrong and that playing the ace is better. Um, if we were to metagame, which wouldn't recommend when solving problems in real life, given that the queen lead was right in the previous problem, chances are it's not correct here, and the point of the problem is to show why. But that sounds like it to me. On the previous problem, the only thing we could handle was singleton jack with righty, and the only way to handle that was to lead the queen. Here, that's still a layout we can pick up. Righty with singleton jack, we could still pick it up by playing the queen, but there's two different layouts that we could pick up by playing low to the ace. And so for that reason, low to the ace, dropping the king. All right. That was a lot of explanation or thinking about the different possibilities before getting to a correct solution. But we thought it through. I certainly find that some suit combinations just take a lot of care to think through. As far as like thinking about them at the table, I mean, the more that you think about them, spend time thinking about them away from the table, then the chances are you will be better and more accurate at thinking about them quickly when you need to. Luckily, on a hand like this, you would actually have a little bit of time to think about this. Like this is actually the only concern in this hand is how do we play clubs. And there actually aren't too many arrangements. So like I said, it's either 3-0 or 2-1, and we can show fairly quickly that the 3-0 splits don't work. And of the 2-1 splits, we either need a singleton king or a singleton jack. And we can look at how do we handle singleton jack? It has to do with righty, and we have to leave the queen. How do we handle singleton king? We have to play the ace first, and it will win if either of them has it. So I would say that is the condensed reasoning that I would follow. If I was a little more on the ball, thinking about things smoothly. Let's have something totally novel. Or maybe we're still back in 6 now. No, no, it's another variant of the same problem. All right, what's different here? Um, this is interesting. So in the previous 2 problems, then we lost a heart trick right away. In this problem, we're not going to lose a heart trick right away. So that's going to give us a different kind of flexibility. At a glance, I think this we're actually probably cold this time, but let's walk through it. So we have 3 spades, 2 hearts, and 3 diamonds, 8 tricks outside of clubs, and so we'll need 5 club tricks. A difference here, though, is that after we win this first trick, we're actually allowed to lose a club. Because we haven't lost a heart, we have more flexibility in clubs. We can lose a trick and then still take 5 tricks, and we're good to go. So let us put that flexibility to work. So now we can actually consider. So we already saw with this exact card combination how we would have to play it for no losers. But if we're allowed 1 loser, then our goal should be to play it for exactly 1 loser. Even if we take a line of play that makes it more likely that we lose a trick than on the previous line, that's okay as long as it increases the chances that we get at least 5 tricks. Is there a way to actually guarantee 5 tricks with this combination? I think that's of some consideration. So like imagine we lead a low club from our hand. If lefty showed out, we would know that righty had king jack 9. Oh, sorry. We have a 9 this time. Oh, only the king jack are missing. Oh, okay. Sorry, it's not exactly the same combination as before. Now I think in that case we're definitely not losing more than 1 trick. Why? Oh, sorry. Is that true? Yes. Let's talk about why. A lot of the time when you're trying to find like a safety play in a suit like this, where you're okay with losing a trick, you'll often take some kind of unnecessary finesse. We talked about this a little bit in the previous video, that you get these kinds of finesses where it's like, if I take the finesse, then if it loses, it means the suit is splitting nicely. And if it wins, then it wins. And that's good. And this can kind of be win-win for you. And so we can imagine doing something similar here. If we played a club from our hand, a small club, if lefty showed out, we could take the ace, we would know that righty had king jack left, and we would play a low club back to the queen. They could win the king, but that would be it. They would get 1 trick. When we play our low club, if lefty doesn't show out, if they play low, like they play, I guess the 5 is missing here, then we take a potentially unnecessary finesse. We just put in the 6. We cover it cheaply. If lefty had all 3 clubs, then the 6 wins. And lefty with the king jack is only going to get 1 more trick because we'll take the ace and then give them a trick. If this finesse loses, then it means clubs are splitting 2-1, and again they took the only trick they were going to get. So taking this potentially unnecessary kind of finesse actually guarantees that we get all 5 tricks in the suit. So this contract is actually 100% cold, unlike the previous ones where we had to hope for a particular layout. What could you do wrong? You could go wrong here by playing low to the ace. If you play low to the ace and then righty shows out, lefty's getting 2 tricks with the king jack. Similarly, if you were to play low from dummy towards the queen, and righty showed out, lefty would get 2 tricks. If you play the queen, they'll get the king and later. Maybe not. I guess it'd be okay. If you played low and righty showed up, you'd actually be okay. If you played low and righty played the king, you'd be okay. Yeah, I guess you'd be okay on that front. Maybe playing low from the north hand also succeeds. But as I've already explained how playing low from our hand will work. So exactly in this case, if they play this 5, we're going to not fight over it. We're just going to stick in the 6. And either it wins, and lefty gets 1 trick with the king later. No, maybe the jack. And if it loses, then that's the only trick they're going to get because clubs split 3-2. So we can knock out the king of clubs, and now our clubs are good. Yeah, we're able to take advantage of the extra flexibility by the fact that we were allowed a loser in clubs this time. And so yeah, well, it can be a little unnatural to get these sort of variant problems because you're somewhat primed by what you've seen before. It does at least give you a chance to sort of directly compare how these tiny changes between hands gives you a pretty different way of tackling it. So we had sort of 3 different ways of tackling this club suit. It was not the same club suit every time. It was a little bit different each time. But still, you get the point. There's actually a really good book by Mike Lawrence called, I think it's called How to Play Card Combinations. And it actually looking at a very exactly the same combination of cards in the context of a bunch of different hands and how you'd play exactly the same cards differently depending on the overall context. That's a pretty cool book. I think that's actually Mike Lawrence's first book, if I recall. And it is a good one. Are we still on this? It's another 2-no, 6-no, and I see weak clubs. All right, we can't escape the variance of this problem. I don't remember there being problems that had even 3 variants, let alone 4. How deep does the rabbit hole go? All right, so yet again, we're in 6 now. We've got 3 spades, 3 heart winners this time, and 3 diamonds. That's 9 tricks. We only need 3 tricks from clubs, though, of course, again, we're only allowed to lose a single club. So what should we do? And we're missing 3 clubs. Ace, queen, small. Ace, queen, 6 here. Okay. This first trick is forced. Nothing we can do differently. What can we do? Let's consider some possibilities. So this looks like maybe a little bit more normal. If the ace and queen are both with righty, there's nothing we can do. They will get 2 tricks. If ace and queen are both with lefty, then we would like to finesse up to the jack first. You could actually go wrong by playing the king. If lefty had ace queen small, if we play low, lefty plays low, and we play the king, and then east shows out, then lefty's got 2 tricks. If the ace and queen are split, it is a pure guess. So in the one case that matters is really lefty having all 3 clubs, and in that case, playing to the jack is the right thing to do. One other consideration is, could we learn anything about the distribution of the suits by playing out the other winners we have? And not likely. We don't have like a long suit to run. We're probably not going to force them to discard anything interesting. So it looks like low to the jack. And there we go. In exactly this case I warned about, ace queen small with lefty, it's necessary we play the jack and not the king. So I get that. And we drop the queen. All right, that one's a little more straightforward than the other ones, I think. At least I found it easier to reduce the possibilities. As usual, we will drop some winners on winners. Nope. Bridge Master lagging. Hello. There we go. Are we free of the tyranny of 206 now? Yes. All right, new topics. Let's go. All right, a suit contract. We have a potential heart loser, 3 spade losers. That's 4. Diamonds are fine. We've got king queen to cover our small diamonds, and clubs are fine. Counting losers from our hand as usual when we have more trump. So it looks like we're about to lose 3 spades, and we need to not lose a heart. The most normal thing to do, missing the king, is to finesse. Unless you have actually an 11 card trump suit, but we are not so blessed. And I might see a potentially interesting thing going on that I'll flag in a sec. If it looks quite straightforward, that we would just have to do heart finesses, it's worth considering that we may need to do a number of heart finesses. If let's say righty had king fourth, all the remaining hearts, we would actually need to finesse from the north hand 3 times. Do you see 3 entries into the north hand? 2 are obvious, so we need to find a 3rd entry potentially. For the moment, it looks like we're losing spades. All right, we've lost 3 spades, and they play a club. Cool. So the finesse and heart's definitely the thing that we should be doing. Banging down the ace would require a singleton king. That's quite unlikely when they have 4 cards out. So we do have 2 obvious entries in the 2 diamond honors and dummy. And if we need a 3rd entry, if we take 1 finesse and it turns out the lefty shows out, we do have a 3rd entry, which is roughing the ace of diamonds. Yeah, it feels maybe a little bit unnecessary to rough a winner, but if it gives you a necessary entry, then it's quite necessary. So we do have that available as a 3rd entry, should we need it. And I'm guessing that we will. All right, 1 entry, take a finesse, and indeed, hearts are 4-0. So another one of these, another finesse, and we just need righty to follow to this 3rd round of diamonds, which they do. And the last finesse. All right. Dropping the king. I don't think there's actually like too much chance to go wrong in this problem. In that I don't like the one thing that would go wrong is actually okay. There's a little bit, I guess. If you cash the king queen of diamonds back to back, that would be a problem because you need them as separate entries. If after the king queen of diamonds are cashed, even if you use them for 2 separate entries, if you decide to cash the ace of diamonds and drop a club, that would be a problem. Though that seems like a little bit of a strange play. I think if you're paying attention, and you take a finesse and you find out that the Trump's just pulling 4-0, hopefully that'll trigger you right away to be concerned that you're going to have to take this finesse multiple times. I would guess the most likely error is probably cashing the king queen of diamonds back to back. But by considering what could go wrong in the heart suit, we can see that we may need 3 separate entries, so we cannot cash the king queen back to back. We need to use them separately. 4 hearts on a different auction. We have 2 unavoidable heart losers in the ace and king. Spades, normally we would say we'd have potentially 2 losers, though this lead could alleviate one of those losers right away. They're giving us a free finesse into the ace queen. If East plays low, we play the queen. If East plays the king, we play the ace. Either way, we win both the ace and the queen. So the glance looks like it's 1 spade loser. Diamonds are fine, and clubs have a loser. So that's 2 in hearts, 1 in spade, 1 in clubs. And And it looks like the club loser is unavoidable, just as the heart losers are. There's no particular way we could get rid of both of our clubs before they would have a chance to cash the ace of clubs. So it's the other spade loser that we'll have to get rid of. How can we get rid of it? Actually, two options on this hand. There's no roughs, but we have an extra winner in diamonds, potentially. Though the diamonds are blocked, so if we want to use a king of diamonds, we're going to have to cash the ace-queen of diamonds, and then get to the north hand. And the only entry to the north hand is in clubs. So worth playing ace-queen of diamonds early, potentially, before we mess around in clubs. Another option is that the extra winner could come from clubs directly. If the ace is in West's hand, we could play up to the king-queen, and we have to do that twice. We play up to the king-queen, let's say it holds. We would have to come back, play up to the king-queen again, at which point, a strong West would take the ace at that point, blocking us out of the clubs. And then we have to go find an entry to the clubs. And just as clubs are entry to the diamonds, we could also use diamonds as an entry to the clubs. If we play, ace of diamonds, then queen overtaking the king, then we would have an entry back to use that club at the setup. That's two different possibilities, and when there's two possibilities, it's worth considering whether you can actually capitalize on both of them, or if they're mutually exclusive. And here, if we tried to set up a club, it would burn our diamond entry potentially. Like, let's say we go after clubs first. So we win this with the queen, let's say. We lead the club to the king-queen, and it holds. We come back to our hand with it could be a diamond. We lead another club up, and they play the ace. Actually, worst case, play another club up, and the king loses to the ace on the right. So ready is clever and doesn't take the first club trick. Now the clubs didn't work, and we have no entry to the diamond. So that it could go wrong if we played the clubs first. If we do the diamonds first, though, if we play ace queen of diamonds right away, unblock the diamond suit, we now don't have an entry back to the clubs, but we have a guaranteed extra winner in diamonds. And we actually have a guaranteed entry in clubs. If they take the ace on the first round when we play a club, that's fine. That sets up an entry for us. And if they don't take the ace on the first round, then that's our club entry. So even though playing on clubs could work for an extra trick, we should actually use diamonds for the extra winner and clubs as the entry, because that approach is foolproof compared to the other way around. We haven't considered drawing trump yet, which is certainly worth considering. There's going to be a bit of a timing issue there, though. The spade loser we have is slow. It's going to be protected by one of these honors. But we are going to have to give up the lead at least once in clubs, potentially, while we go to build up a club entry. So I don't think we're going to be able to draw any trump at the beginning of this hand. Let's go a couple tricks in, they'll maybe be a bit more clear. Okay, so they didn't play the king, so we'll take the queen. If we played a heart right now, they would knock out the ace of spades, and our spade loser would be exposed, and we would have, if we could unblock the diamonds then and lead the club to the king, but they would just take the ace and cash their spade winner, and we would be down. So we don't have time right now to play hearts. We can't let them in right now because we're going to let them in clubs potentially. So let's unblock these diamonds. And find us a way to the king of diamonds. If they take that, they probably knock out the spade entry, or spade stopper, yep. But we've left ourselves a way to get to the king of diamonds, and we still can't play trump at this point, because our spade loser is exposed. We have to get rid of it now. So over here, drop the spade, and now it could claim. They would just get 2 heart tricks no matter what we do. But We must play out all the hearts. On this hand, I feel like the using the diamonds for an extra winner probably does feel more natural because it's a guaranteed extra winner. Um, but it's worth pointing out that the clubs could also have worked, and there will be cases where it's the less obvious option that turns out to be best. So we should think through them. All right, 4 hearts. Sorry, look at the auction again. All right, 4 hearts. As usual, righty has the ace. No underleading aces at suit contracts. And as described in the previous hand, there's typically not any reason to put the king up. I think I could devise some hands where maybe it's the right thing to do, but in general, not playing the king lets you gain against a singleton or a doubleton ace in righty's hand. But let us count some losers. So no losers in hearts. Very likely to be 3 in spades. Barring a nice singleton or doubleton ace with righty. Diamonds are good, and clubs we have 2 losers. That's 3 in spades and 2 in clubs. We can only afford 3. So how are we going to get rid of some? If we lose 3 spades, which seems likely, we'll need to get rid of both club losers. We are not able to ruff a club, because that would involve losing a club first. So we would need the extra winners that could be provided by diamonds. If diamonds are 3-3, then we can set them up by doing, let's say, ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, ruff a diamond. And that would give us the 2 extra winners that we need to pitch the clubs. If diamonds are 4-2, we only get 1 extra winner in diamonds, and it's not enough. So assuming we lose 3 spades, it looks like we're going to require that diamonds are 3-3. But let's duck this first and see if we get at all lucky in the spade suit. Doubleton ace, doubleton ace. Not today. Okay. So spade loses out. I imagine they lead a club and expose the club loser right away. And so we need to get rid of these clubs now. Can we draw any trump first for safety? It may not matter. If diamonds have to be 3-3, then it doesn't matter if we draw trump, because if we're already expecting or relying on diamonds to be 3-3, then they're not going to over ruff us as we go, or ruff us as we go ace king and ruff a diamond. Yeah, it ought not to matter. Though I mean, of course, it's worth avoiding extra under tricks, when they're not 3-3. So can we play some hearts out first? We need 1 heart as an entry back to the diamonds. So if we're going to play ace king of diamonds and ruff, we need at least 1 heart to get back. That makes it sound like we could draw 2 rounds of trump. We can then leave the queen of hearts and dummy as an entry. That would give us a little bit of cover if it turns out diamonds aren't splitting. All right, they still have 1 heart out. But we already need these to split. So, come on, diamond split. And there it is. We have our entry to get back in hearts. And we drop the clubs on the diamonds. Oops, sorry. That auction is definitely worth looking at. We have some opposing bidding, always good to keep in mind. West shows ostensibly 6 hearts. We only have 3, so it looks like righty has 4. Though a lot of the time with righty having 4 hearts, they might actually raise to 4. So it could be 7 hearts with with West and 3 with East. Some people will give you a 7-card preempt on a really bad suit. So it's always a possibility. If it turns out the lefty has good hearts, though, like it looks like we have at least the king queen from this lead, then probably it's 6 in the left, 4 on the right. Okay, we have a spade loser, unavoidable. Heart loser, sure looks unavoidable. Clubs are good, and we have a diamond loser. And at a glance, that's only 3 losers. So file this hand under what could go wrong. It's possible that there's some club ruff coming. That would certainly give us something to contend with. Yeah, let's see what happens. So can't do anything on this first trick. They win the king. They do something exciting here. No choice there. Okay. Yeah, what could go wrong in this hand? It looks like just a spade and a diamond loser left. If we ruff this and we lead a spade and they win with the ace and then give a club ruff, that does seem like it would leave us with a diamond loser that we couldn't really shift. We wouldn't have any extra winners. We wouldn't have any way of ruffing the diamond. Yeah, it's a little interesting. So what I'm considering is the benefit. The only other thing we might try on this trick is actually dropping the diamond right now before we ruff and start playing trump. That may look strange. Though, if we're going to lose a diamond no matter what, it doesn't particularly hurt to lose it now, and it might gain. Actually, how might it gain? Is that true? Maybe not in the way that I'm describing here. Well, we're likely to see some loser on loser plays later, but I'm not sure if this one actually helps. Because if we do give them this trick, and they're going to get a spade, if they were going to get a club ruff anyways, then, you know, that just happens, and that's unfortunate. I don't see any solution where we make when there's a club ruff. I think the only danger that they're probably proposing here is just that sometimes people get a little bit cagey about leading the trump suit when they don't have the top trump. But that looks like exactly what we should do. We're not planning to ruff anything, so we should get started on spades right away. Yeah, I think the danger they're looking for in this hand is just trying to trap people who don't play spades right away. But in general, if there's nothing you need to ruff, then you should, and you don't need the trump for entries or anything else, then you should draw trump right away. If they win and they ruff a club, I'll have to think about it more. All right, if there was a club ruff coming, they probably would have won that with the ace. I still have 2 more spades. Oh, uh, Trump promotion. Oh, I didn't think about this. Hmm. Perhaps we did find the reason to pitch the diamond after all. If we're counting, well, no, the East has 2. Oh, sorry, has one more spade left. It's lower than the 10. But what can we do on this trick? If we ruff with the 10 of spades, we're still losing a diamond, and righty's going to get a spade trick. If we don't ruff, they take this heart, and lefty leads another heart. And we're in the same spot. Either we ruff, and righty gets the trick, or we let it go, and lefty wins the trick, and either way we're down. So we have actually failed at this point. to show the kind of like the normal failure case. So let's consider roughing because we know we're going to lose a diamond, and we try to go take our tricks, and at some point it gets roughed. All right, I'll put this one in the wrong column. The danger I saw wasn't the danger that existed. So obviously they're going to win this trick here. All right, try again. So I talked about the potential for discarding a diamond on that heart, but not about why that. I didn't find the right reason for why that would be the right choice. Let's look again. Nothing we can do on the first trick. But here, when you're considering taking roughs in the long hand, there is always some danger that you end up shortening yourself to the point where one of the defenders has more trump than you. So that's what happened here. Righty had 4 spades, and they made us rough twice. And at that point, that promoted a trump trick for righty that they shouldn't have gotten. So when we love to take roughs in the dummy, or at least the shorthand, because that means more tricks. Roughs in our hand are typically neutral to negative. They don't gain tricks, and they can be a problem in a case exactly like this, where we say we get tapped or forced. We get forced to rough, and it shortens us down. We would call this defense a forcing defense, where your side tries to lead the longest suit that you have, to force declarer to rough in the long hand, such that you get exactly this kind of extra promoted trump trick. And the way to dodge this is indeed to pitch a diamond on this hand. Why? Let's look again at why this is actually beneficial in this particular hand. So we are going to lose a diamond no matter what. Losing it now doesn't particularly hurt. What we gain by pitching the diamond now instead of roughing is that if they continue hearts, we now have the option to roughen the shorthand, which we couldn't do on this trick, because we still have to follow suit. But next trick, we can roughen the shorthand, and we don't get tapped in the long hand, and we don't run into this problem. So let's take a look at that line. Play a diamond. They don't even continue hearts. If they did, we would just roughen the north hand, and we would draw trump. Okay. That already was enough to dissuade them from playing hearts in the first place. And from now, we should be a lot safer. So we play this. Oh, something else to note that the defense did on the previous play, and they're probably going to do here, is they're not going to take the ace until dummy is out of hearts, or out of spades. And the point is, they want to lead a heart at a point where it forces us to rough in the long hand. So East did there were a couple of good things. West continued hearts in the previous hand, and made us rough. Well, I guess we roughed, so that was our fault. And then righty waited until we were out of trumps and dummy before leading another heart, forcing us to rough in our own hand. So same thing here, but the difference is we've got one more trump in our hand this time than last time, because we didn't take that first rough. And now, East again still has 1 spade left, but now we're in control, and we can actually draw it. And now we have all the tricks we need. All right, I think that was our first loser on loser example. I wasn't sure if they had any loser on loser in level 1, but I guess they do. So the big general theme here is that when you're given the option of roughing in the long hand, it's worth considering whether it might not be better to just discard a loser instead. If you have a loser that you have to lose, it's often a good idea to lose those losers early. I think we've seen a lot of different cases now where losing losers early can give you more flexibility, give you more safety. All right, I've had a grand for a bit. Suppose a reasonable option. South opens 2 spades. North just wants to know about a single key card, the Ace of Clubs. And they find it. and they're good to go. Not that they'll necessarily work. If South had like the singleton ace of clubs, there might be some club losers. But let's see what we've got. So spades, we have 8 spades with the ace, king, queen, jack. There is a small possibility of a 5-0 spade split, which we could not handle, but also nothing we can do about that. In hearts, we have a heart loser. In clubs, we have 10 clubs, and we have the top 3, so no club losers. And in diamonds, we've got no losers and a bunch of extra winners. So if there was a 5-0 spade split, we'd have a spade loser, but as I say, we can't do anything about that, so let's assume that's not true. So what is interesting in this hand is the heart loser, and how do we handle that? As usual, we've got 2 ways. We can ruff a heart, or we could drop it on extra winner. And there's a pretty big difference between those options on this hand. If we ruffed a heart, so we did ace of hearts, we have to find a way back to our hand, ace of clubs, and then ruffed a heart. We have to use one of those top 4 spades to ruff a heart. And that means that we're now in danger of a 4-1 spade split, which is a fair bit more likely than a 5-0 spade split. Like some 20-ish%, I think. Let's consult the table. 4-1, yeah, 28%. So that would be a bad amount of percentage to lose. Whereas if we dropped it on a diamond, our other heart, that we would just need like 2 rounds of diamonds not to get ruffed, which seems pretty okay. 5 diamonds, they've got 8. We just need diamonds not to be 7-1, which is incredibly unlikely, like 3%. There'd also be a little bit of a handling issue if we were to ruff a heart. We'd have to ace of hearts, ace of clubs, ruff a heart, still get back to our hand with a diamond ruff anyways. So it doesn't even seem like diamonds are more dangerous on the line where we use a diamond to drop a heart. Yeah, I think the main thing here is just let's not try to ruff the heart. That might look like the most natural thing to do. We see shortness and dummy, we ruff. But ruffing with the high spades that we might need to draw the spades is a problem. So this trick is forced. If we're going to drop the heart on diamonds, then we don't need to have spades and dummy, and we can afford to start drawing trump. We certainly should. So let's draw 2 rounds of trump. All right, trump are splitting 3-2, so there's 1 trump outstanding, which we can't get to just yet. I suppose an option that exists, rather than discarding the heart right now, so I mean, we could play ace of diamonds, king of diamonds dropping a heart, and then deal with the spades. We could also try to deal with the last spade right now, which has also a couple of options. We could go over with the ace of clubs, draw the last spade, then use the diamonds to pitch the heart loser. There's a lot of clubs here. The chance of a 4-0 split in clubs is about 10%. It's small, but it certainly exists. Whereas the chance of, as I said, a 7-1 split, or a 7-1 split in diamonds is actually about 3%. So perhaps the safest thing we could do, absolutely safest thing we could do in this hand, is ace of diamonds, ruff a diamond, draw the last trump. That would be the absolute safest way back to our hand to get rid of the last spade before we start trying to play on hearts, or get rid of this heart. Because if we go ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, dropping a heart, then our 2 choices back are either a club, 10% chance of getting ruffed, or ruffing a 3rd diamond. At which point we need diamonds to split 5-3 or better. Because if there were 6-2, oh, actually that's not true, because we could ruff that 3rd diamond high. Oh, it actually gives us really fun. We could ruff the 2nd diamond high, They only have one spade left, so why would we ruff low when we could ruff high? So yeah, absolutely the safest thing to do here. Which maybe is not going to be required for this level 1 problem. I'm going to guess the main point of this problem is they don't want you roughing a heart. But beyond just not roughing a heart, we can also consider the absolute safest way back to our hand, which is ace of diamonds, ruff a diamond high. Oh. Okay, they actually, they did give a singleton diamond here. Draw the last trump. And now all the tricks are ours. The clubs are guaranteed to work no matter how they split. And we can use the diamond to drop a heart. As it turns out, we can actually use the last club to drop a heart. Did I even talk about the possibility of using the club as the extra winner? Because that was certainly a possibility. Probably should have pointed that out. That we do in fact have extra winners in clubs as well as diamonds, so that would work just as well as the diamonds. And look at this. They have actually given that distribution. They've given the, the 7-1 diamond split and the 3-0 clubs. Oh, sorry, I think I also talked about 4-0 clubs, because, counting to 13 is hard. 3-0 clubs, the chance of a ruff there on the first round is actually 22%. Fairly high. So yeah, besides just not roughing a heart, because it might hurt our chances in spades, we should also, as we talked about before, if we need to get back to our hand to draw trump, we should find the safest way back. Let's see what I actually talk about in the solution, because I think there's a few interesting points. South wins the hard ace. Oops. Should try a drop trump immediately so the defender's not get any roughs. Okay. Even considering the possibility of roughing a heart. I agree. We should certainly play the trumps first. Yeah, there certainly is some danger in trying to return with ace of clubs. Could have a ruff. We should instead trump a diamond winner. And because trumps are 3-2, we can actually afford to ruff this diamond high. And so there's another benefit of playing those 2 spades first, as we find out whether spades are 3-2 or not. Okay. Alright, that did have a bit more involvement than I might have expected. For spades, we have all the highest spades. It looks like no spade losers. Looks like 3 heart losers. And we potentially have 1 loser in clubs, and diamonds are good. A similar situation potentially here when it comes to roughing a club versus setting up extra winners. If we rough a club, it does mean roughing with a high spade, though in this hand we actually have completely solid spades. So that does look like a lot less of a concern. One other little concern about roughing a spade is, or roughing a club, is which spade would we use to rough it with. If you rough with the queen of spades, you're actually going to block the club suit, or the spade suit. If you rough with the ace of spades, the spades are entirely unblocked because you can overtake the queen with the king, and then run all the spades from there. So that might be a consideration that comes up. As far as extra winners are concerned, the 4th heart could even be an extra winner. Diamonds, if they were on like 3-2, we could rough 1 diamond and have extra winners. But it looks like we have a pretty safe way to rough the club this time. So let's go lose 3 hearts, I imagine. Oh, ace dropping the king. Okay, so this is presumably ace doubleton from lefty. That means the hearts aren't splitting. Indeed, indeed. Which means we have there's like one more consideration here. Is it safe to ruff when we know that West has a void? And the answer here is certainly yes. All of our trumps are high, so we can afford to ruff this. I mean, well, sorry, we can afford to ruff it with our lowest trump is what I mean. We don't have to think about it too much. All the trumps are equivalent. Obviously, we have to rough it, or we would be down. Okay. And yeah, if we wanted to go the route of setting up diamonds, we would have to play Ace King of Diamonds, rough a diamond, have an entry back to the diamonds, and play a third round, pitch a club. On that third round, somebody could be roughing. We would not actually be able to draw the trump before playing the diamonds, because we have to use the second round of trumps as an entry to the north hand. So playing diamonds is actually quite dangerous. Whereas all we need to rough a club is for nobody to rough the ace of clubs, which would be quite egregious. That would be the 10-0 club split, and the chart I've got up doesn't even go to 10 card splits. And the important thing I mentioned is that when we rough this, we must rough with the ace of spades. If we rough with the queen, we block the spade suit. We'd have to play the ace of spades, and then we'd have to play 3 rounds of spades to get back to our hand, or 3 rounds of diamonds to get back to our hand. That would be fine if diamonds are 3-2, but it won't be fine if they're not. Somebody might rough that second round, or even the first round. But we have so many good spades, we can absolutely afford to rough with the ace, and then overtake the queen back to this hand. It's like we've, quote unquote, wasted 2 high spades. We have such a plethora of riches, a surfeit of riches, that we can afford this. And that was pretty much 100% safe. You can do it, Bridgemaster. I believe. There we go. Looks like a nice hand. And indeed, we are in 6 spades. Oh, we didn't even open with we had this hand. All right. No wonder we're in a slam. All right, spades were looking good. Hearts, we have no losers. Clubs, we have 1 loser. Diamonds, we could potentially have 2 losers. We have the ace of diamonds, but that's the only sure thing. And given that we're going to lose a club right now, it looks like we'll be trying to avoid both diamond losers. This first play is entirely forced. So let's simplify down to those first 2 tricks. Okay. How do we get rid of 2 diamond losers? So we have at least 1 extra winner in hearts, which could pitch a diamond. If we just pitched 1 diamond on an extra winner, we would still need the diamond finesse. Another option is do the diamond finesse and rough a diamond. That might rely on spades being 2-2. If they're 3-1, it could still be fine, but we wouldn't be able to draw the trump before doing the diamond finesse, playing another diamond, coming back to rough a diamond. And so it has a tiny amount of danger. No opposing bidding, right? So is there a way that we might set up 2 extra winners in hearts? We have 6 hearts. If they split 4-3, naively, that would only give us 1 extra. Oh, sorry, that would give us ace of hearts, king of hearts, and the 5th heart. That would be 2 extra heart winners. Do we have the entries to handle 4-3 hearts? We'd have to play, let's say, ace of hearts, king of hearts, rough. We would need to get back to the hearts twice. Once more to rough, and once more to use the hearts. And the way we would get 2 entries outside of hearts is, again, the diamond finesse. So it's often all coming back to the diamond finesse. We don't exactly need a 4-3 spades or a heart split to get all the tricks, because the heart spots are quite good. The king and jack might drop earlier, and that would be handy. It's possible that queen and jack could drop on by the 3rd round, in the 2nd or 3rd round of hearts. in which case we'd only need one extra entry back. So it looks like by playing on hearts, we give ourselves a chance to potentially avoid the diamond finesse, if the hearts are behaving nicely. And if they're not, we could still always fall back on the diamond finesse. So that sounds like a pretty good plan. Any risks? In none of these plans, or no part of this plan, are we actually going to ruff a diamond. The idea is to pitch one early on the King of Hearts, and hopefully pitch a second one. But if not, we'll take a diamond finesse. So if we're not going to ruff any diamonds, and if the spades can't be used as entries to the north hand, can we just draw a trump now? They could be used as entries to the south hand. Let's take a quick look. Let's say we have to use all of dummy spades because spades are 3-1 or 4-0. So we draw the trump. We then play ace of hearts, king of hearts, pitching a diamond, ruff a heart. If the hearts are behaving, we just use ace of diamonds back and run the hearts. If they're not behaving, then it's diamond finesse time. And in no way do we need entries back to our hand by playing a small spade. So, all right, looks like we are totally free to draw trump. And trump our 3-1. All right. I haven't talked about the possibility of a heart finesse. Finessing right now in hearts is not good. That kind of double finesse where you're finessing against 2 honors, you really want to be able to take that finesse twice if that's your plan, and we can't. One possibility that might exist is a roughing finesse on the way back in hearts. If lefty dropped an honor on the first 2 rounds of hearts, chances are a roughing finesse would be the right choice. So we'll see if that happens. Ace of hearts. King of hearts pitching a diamond, and righty is the one who dropped an honor. We haven't talked about the sorry, what is this? I'm blanking on what this law is called. Sorry, the restricted choice, the principle of restricted choice. The rough idea is that if you see somebody drop one of a pair of equivalent cards, in this case, the queen and the jack, it's actually more likely than 50% that the other person has the other card. Getting to the math on that takes a bit of doing, but the upshot here is that once that jack drops, it's actually more likely that West has the queen than that East has the queen. So if West had dropped this jack, I'd actually be very tempted to take the roughing finesse, where we run the 10 through East's hoped for queen. That doesn't look like a good idea here. That looks like a less than 50% finesse. Also, chances are, when we run the 10, East is just going to show out. Or not. Cool. I mean, this was one of the possibilities we had hoped for, right? Was that the queen and jack might fall in 3 rounds, and we'd be able to actually avoid the diamond finesse entirely. And that's what we've got. So cool. By giving ourselves this extra chance, we do not have to do the diamond finesse. And we've got all the hearts we need to pitch the extra diamond losers. Right now I'm just throwing away a club winner. That was already a good club. And I can, of course, promise you that righty has the king of diamonds, because it's Bridgemaster. So yeah, there were a variety of ways to win there. And so yeah, a variety of ways that we could avoid, or try avoiding diamond finesse. We could always fall back on it if we had to, but we had some 100% safe ways of trying to avoid that finesse before we took it. In general, when you see a finesse, your feeling about finesses is that you should not be you should not jump at the chance to take finesses. If you see a finesse, you should try to avoid it at all costs. Finesses when necessary. This pair is either not playing Texas transfers or they forgot their agreements. All right. So a natural 4 hearts sign off. In hearts, we have 9 hearts. So I've got the top 4, so no heart losers. We have 1 spade loser, potentially 2 diamond losers. That's 3, and a club loser is 4. So one of these losers needs to disappear. We have a couple finesses available. There's a diamond finesse. There is a club finesse. No roughs are going to happen. Are there any other choices for extra winners? I mean, diamonds. You could potentially get 3 tricks out of these diamonds. If you found king third on your left, you could play up to the queen, play the ace, give up a diamond, and you've got a good diamond trick. But it's worth pointing out that the spade and club losers are both going to be exposed. So we can't use a third diamond trick. Like by the time we get a chance to use that last diamond, the spade and the club loser would already be taken. Okay. Let's grab that. Given that we are not planning on roughing anything, drawing trump certainly looks like the right thing to do. And then we'll have a chance of like how we're going to tackle these finesses. I think the previous video I talked about Eddie Cantor's Take All Your Chances at Bridge. Very good pair of books. They've got a lot of hands with themes like this, where there's multiple finesses available, and the order in which you take them does matter. So it's worth considering here why you would take one of these minor finesses over the other. Consider that while we draw some trump. If either of these finesses wins, we're good to go. Like that would cancel out a loser. So if we did the diamond finesse and it won, we would then just play the ace of diamonds. We would lose a spade, a diamond, a club. If we do the club finesse and it wins, like let's say if they actually let the king win, we're good to go. We lose spade, diamond, diamond. We actually still get a chance to take the diamond finesse. If we play a club and they play the ace, we'll use the king of clubs to discard one of the slow diamond losers. And then again lose a spade, a diamond, a club. Sorry. Oh. That I find the flaw in my own reasoning there. We play the club and they play the ace. The king of clubs pitches a diamond. And we actually still have a diamond loser to contend with. Oh, sorry. No, that's fine. Right, yeah, no, we lose spade, diamond, to club. That was right. All good. So yeah, either finesse winning would be fine. So due to preference, what we would take first. It's all good to think about what happens if the finesses win, so let's consider what if the finesses lose. If we play a club up to the king and it loses, we've lost a club, we'll lose a spade, we still have a chance to do the diamond finesse. If we play a diamond to the queen and it loses, they will return a diamond and expose a diamond loser. At that point, we're going to have one exposed spade, club, and diamond loser. And if we try to take the club finesse, they'll just grab the ace. Doesn't matter who has it, and they'll take the rest of their losers. So we need to do the club finesse before the diamond finesse, because doing the diamond finesse actually gives the opponent a chance to expose our diamond loser, and then we won't have the time to use the club finesse. So club finesse first. This is typically true when you have this kind of, we call this like an indirect finesse, when the opponents have a free opportunity to win the trick before you win your trick, even when the finesse is working. So they say that the diamond finesse is a direct finesse and the club finesse is an indirect finesse. When you have indirect finesses, they tend to be the ones that you will take first, because you'll still have the timing to take your direct finesses later. Okay. Oh, yeah, another little snag here. Do we take this finesse? Can anything go wrong, or is it actually just a free chance? They've taken a club. If there were a trump outstanding, this could be a concern. But it looks like it's fine here. If we play the queen and it loses, they'll have taken a club winner, or taken a club loser, they'll take a diamond loser. they'll be able to take a spade, but we'll be able to pitch our last diamond on the club. So we actually can try this finesse out because they can't ruff. All right, and we pitch either the diamond or the spade. We'll give them a spade to make things easy, and then we claim with all the good trump. This is a nice hand, and we are in 7 now. Oh, we have this hand and partner opened. That is pretty crazy. Let's auction actually go. I wonder what their agreements are on 4 now. I think this in this system they just play an aces only Blackwood. So they find about an ace. I think they play a count of kings 5 note, not a specific kings 5 note. They find out about an ace and they find out about 2 kings. That certainly sounds pretty good. And that's only 10 high card points. The North opens. They probably got even more high card points somewhere. So we hope we can do something about these diamonds. Like we have the Queen of Diamonds, that would be great. They don't here, so we may have a little bit of work to do. Let us count some tricks. We have 2 spades. 6 hearts is 8. At least 4 clubs is 12. 2 diamonds is 14. It sure sounds like we have a lot of tricks. Do you see the problem? This is a pretty fun problem. Absolutely try this one out on your own. Before I reveal the solution, which is a fun solution. And part of that solution does come from the idea that we have 14 tricks, right? 2 spades, 6 hearts is 8, 4 clubs is 12, 2 diamonds is 14 tricks. That might feel weird as like something to consider. But if you have more top winners than you need, it means you might not need to use all those top winners. And so the problem in this hand is that we just can't directly untangle all those tricks. The club suit is blocked, and the normal way we would handle that is we would cash the ace of clubs, we would go back to the north hand, play the rest of the clubs. But with this spade lead, so let's, this first trick, we're forced to win here. That's forced. There's no side entry to the clubs in the north hand. So if we unblock the ace of clubs, we play club to the ace right now, how are we supposed to get back and use these clubs? We need the clubs. We can't get enough tricks out of diamonds. Even on a 3-2 diamond split, they would take the third round of diamonds. So how do we get our club tricks? And yeah, if you haven't found a solution yet, definitely pause now and give it a thought. So this ace of clubs is very pesky. It is blocking us out of our club tricks. We also counted 14 tricks. We don't actually need all of them. We don't need the ace of clubs. If the ace of clubs wasn't here, we would still have 1 trick in hand, 6 hearts is 7, 2 diamonds is 9, king of spades is 10, 3 clubs is 13. So what if we just made the ace of clubs disappear? This is not the usual way we unblock suits. But if we have to, then we have to. So we actually just throw this blocker away on a side winner. And so we don't actually play clubs to unblock the clubs. We unblock the clubs on a different suit. And now, we are free to pitch all these losing diamonds on some clubs. I think this is one of, actually, maybe the most amusing hand in level 1. I mean, I haven't seen the last 3, but this kind of play I always find very amusing. Hey, it's worth counting tricks beyond 13 sometimes. Sometimes you find yourself in a 14 trick 7-0 and it's not laydown. That's unfortunate. All right. 5 of a minor doesn't get a lot of love. I don't think we've had a 5 of a minor contract yet. But at least one 5 major. Which even that's preferable to 5 minor. Okay, 5 clubs. We have no club losers, no heart losers, 2 spades, and 1 diamond. King of diamonds might win. And we've only got 1 high spade to cover our 2 spades. Or our 3 spades, I mean. So one of these losers will have to disappear. How might we disappear it? It's maybe first worth considering spades in isolation. Is there a way to not lose 2 spade tricks? We have a jack. That's a little bit interesting. There is a common maneuver employable by both the defenders and the declarer called a bath coup. When you have the ace in one hand and a hidden jack. Actually, or the other way around. And you actually duck this first trick. You let the king win. If they continue, whether with a queen or with a low spade, you get the next 2 tricks. If they play, you're assuming this is from king queen. If they play the queen, you win the ace and the jack. If they play low, you win the jack and the ace. Chances are the bridge master defenders are not going to fall victim to our bath coup if we duck. But it's a very real thing to try at a table. Sometimes righty has a doubleton, and they try to encourage the doubleton, and it makes West actually lead the suit again, and they don't have a good time. So good pro defense tip: don't encourage with the doubleton in this exact situation. You don't want partner to fall victim to the bath coup. Normally we'd encourage the doubleton, but this is like a very particular situation where that's not the right choice. So unlikely we're actually going to get a second trick in spades itself. In which case our options are not playing or playing diamonds for no losers. We have a fairly obvious diamond finesse available. Extra winners are available on diamond. If the diamond finesse works, we would actually have the timing to pitch a spade. But unfortunately, they are attacking spades, so our spade losers get exposed too quickly. So even if the diamond finesse does work, like I mean, an over trick is available if the diamond finesse works. But if the diamond finesse isn't working, on layouts where they didn't lead a spade, if they led some other suit like a club or a heart, we would have enough timing to try the diamond finesse, and if it lost, we would still have an extra winner to pitch a spade. But this lead does not give us the timing for that. Is there anything intelligent we should try besides the diamond finesse? Ducking the king of spades is not entirely free, because righty could have a singleton. I guess it's actually not the worst case, because when they lead another spade, we're only going to play the ace that play the queen. I think it actually is safe to duck. Because let's say we duck the king, they play low, we're not going to play the ace. We would play low as well. If righty roughs, they're just roughing a trick they were going to get anyways. And they can't immediately put partner on lead for another rough. I think it actually is totally safe to duck a spade. Actually, it gains in the world where righty already has a void. It stops our ace from getting roughed. I don't know how much that's actually going to be part of this this problem, but it is worth pointing out. I think ducking the spade is actually very much the right choice. When it comes to diamonds in isolation, we would just run the queen, run the jack, run the 2 next. You only need 1 entry to the south hand to do the diamond finesses, so nothing too exciting is happening there. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens here. Let's duck a spade. Oh, a world that doesn't work is when lefty has king doubleton in spades. But it's not a very compelling lead if their partner hasn't been spades on this auction. They could easily give up a trick. Okay, so they don't do it. Fair enough. Oh, actually, actually, I think we have just solved the problem a little bit inadvertently here. Um, what just happened? By ducking the spade, we basically forced them to switch suits. If they continue spades, we get rid of a spade loser by virtue of simply winning two spades. And if they switch to another suit, we've gained timing. They haven't knocked out the ace of spades yet. That means we can actually go back to what I said before about trying the diamond finesse, and even when it loses, we have an extra winner to pitch a spade. So here's even another way that ducking the spade first can work. Uh-huh. I'm smarter than I think. We're not planning to rough anything. We've got an entry in spades to use and set up diamond later, so we're allowed to use the ace of clubs if we want to. So I suppose, good technique in general would be to leave the trump suit flexible. If you can play a suit such that you leave entries in either direction, like this, where I could get to north with the ace or back here with the queen, it's a good idea to do. Sometimes you don't foresee the need for entries, so leaving yourself flexibility can help you recover from some unforeseen mistakes. And now, we're totally cold. If this finesse works, we might get an overtrick, and if it doesn't work, our spade loser is not exposed, and we can pitch a spade. Maybe taking a tiny amount of care to unblock the diamonds here. Though we do have entries back, if we get them wrong. Alright, there's another good advantage of losing a trick you have to lose anyways, and losing it early, and losing it in an advantageous way. I said I wasn't sure how much of that analysis would be part of this problem, but that is absolutely the point of this problem. Is that by ducking that spade, we force them to switch suits or give us the contract. And forcing them to switch suits actually does give us the contract as well, because it gives us the tempo to take a losing diamond finesse. That's a cool hand. And the MVP of that hand, was the Jack of Spades that we had. Without the Jack of Spades, that was not an option. Oh, okay. Oh, have we had a two hearts contract? Oh wow, there's not even using finesses sorry, what am I saying? Not even using Jacobi transfers. Yeah, I guess the ACBL's Learn to Play Bridge software was written about the same time, around 95. And it also doesn't teach Jacobi transfers. Which feels very weird nowadays. At least in America. Probably around the world. So yeah, this auction looks absolutely foreign to me. But alright, it's two heart sign off. We have no heart losers. Two spades, one diamond is 3, and two clubs is 5. That sounds okay at a glance. We're allowed 5 losers. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if a spade ruff is coming. If lefty is leading this king doubleton, which is possible, or if they have ace king 5th, we're going to have a spade ruff, and then we're going to have one extra loser to contend with. Our play in spades is entirely forced right now, so let's just resolve this down and see what happens. East is giving the positive high-low signal, which sure sounds like a doubleton. And there's the ruff. Okay. So that was, let's recount, that was 3 spade losers, 1 diamond, and 2 clubs, which is now 6 losers. So we do have some work to do. Roughing a club is a possibility. We're allowed to lose 1 club, as long as we don't lose 2. So we could certainly try to work on that. Do we have the timing to rough a club? They're attacking dummies' hearts right now. So we would win with our first heart. Ace of clubs, give up a club. They play a second heart. We would still have heart and dummy, but we'd also be trapped in dummy without a way to get back to our hand. The only way back to our hand in that line is roughing a diamond. And roughing a diamond means losing a diamond. If we lose a diamond, they'll have time to get rid of our last heart. So let's try a slight variant of that. Let's imagine we win this heart. We duck a round of clubs rather than playing the ace. We duck around first. They lead a heart. We still have one heart and dummy, but we also have a way back to our hand, the ace of clubs. That sounds like a good plan. So ace of hearts, ducking a club entirely to leave us with an entry back to our hand at the time where we actually want it. The time we want to be in our hand is when we're ready to ruff a club. If we play ace of clubs in the club, we don't have an entry back to our hand when we need it. Okay, also Trumper splitting 4-1, worth noting. Now we have the entry back to ruff the club. And as long as ace diamonds cashes, they can take their diamond, and we have the high hearts. So yet another example of losing a trick we have to lose early, because it's a lot more beneficial than losing it late. And this comes up actually quite a bit, that when you want to ruff a suit, when you want to rough and you have a loser in that suit, giving up the loser early is very frequently the right thing to do. All right, 4 spades. This is our last hand of level 1. Let's try not to mess it up. Sorry, any opposing bidding? It was 1, 1, 3, 4. So a spade loser is possible. Hearts look good. 2 club losers potentially for 3, and a diamond loser for 4. The diamonds combination here is a little interesting. Might remind you of those spades from a couple hands back, where we had ace in one hand, jack in the other, and the opponents led the king. Is there a benefit to ducking this king again? And actually less so in this hand, because if we duck the king, they could play a low diamond and knock out our ace. So the back coup doesn't quite work. That said, with the jack and dummy, assuming that West is leading from the king queen, which seems likely because if it was king doubleton, that would give ready 6 diamonds. Did they have a chance to talk about 6 diamonds? Maybe not. They didn't get to bid until we were at the 3 level. But king queen is the most likely for this lead. We could still lead up to the jack. We could win the ace and then lead a diamond up to the jack later, finessing against lefty's queen. That would give us an extra winner in diamonds. So that one has some benefit. So no bath coup this time. No ducking the king of diamonds. I mean, it could win against a poor defender. They could lead the queen next, and we would win. We'd have the jack of diamonds, but the Bridgemaster defenders are tricksy. The club situation's a little bit interesting. So we do have a finesse and clubs available. If that works, that would alleviate the club loser. So that's pretty good. So diamond loser is good, or diamond finesse could get rid of a diamond loser. Actually, sorry, a diamond finesse can't get rid of a diamond loser. We would win the ace. We would give up the 2 to the queen to set up the jack. We'd have to use that as an extra winner then instead, which we could use to pitch a club. So a diamond finesse still gets rid of a club loser. A club finesse would also get rid of a club loser. And obviously in spades, we have a spade finesse to get rid of a spade loser. And that's totally separate. Can't use extra winners to pitch trump losers. The trump is always on its own. In that case, we actually do this choice of finesses, or which we do first, diamonds versus clubs. And there is, again, a clear reason to do one over the other first. If we won the ace of diamonds, let's say we even, we went up with the ace of spades or ace of hearts to take the club finesse. If the club finesse loses, they'll take 2 club tricks, and there'll be no club losers left to drop on the winning jack of diamonds, should the diamond finesse then work. So taking the club finesse first gives us no chance of using the diamond finesse. Whereas if the diamond finesse fails, the club finesse will still be intact. And we could try that after. So diamonds before clubs is definitely the right choice. So let's win this. Next choice is, are we going to do it right away, this Diamond Finesse? Or are we going to try to draw trump first? We don't need trump for anything in particular in this hand. We're not roughing. We've got, entry outside of hearts. If we had to take the club finesse or use the jack of diamonds. So we're free to draw trump at this point. But there's a big danger. And it has to do with sort of the positionality of the king of clubs. If the spade finesse loses, it loses to righty. And righty is then in a position to lead clubs through the king two. And then, if the club finesse isn't working, we just lose our club tricks. And we didn't have a chance to try the diamond finesse first. But the diamond finesse, if the diamond finesse loses, we already said we would have to rely on the club finesse. So if the diamond finesse loses, we just have to hope the club finesse works. But if the diamond finesse wins, lefty is the one who would be on lead. They can't attack clubs from that side. The king of clubs is a positional stopper. Well, the king doubleton. Lefty can't lead clubs without giving us a trick, regardless of where the ace of clubs is. So we definitely get more chances by leading diamonds now. Making sure we get a chance to take advantage of a winning diamond finesse before righty ever gets on lead. All right, and that does indeed work. They can't attack clubs from that side. This does leave us with another concern here. Leave the spade, and we have a choice of taking the ace or letting it go. Letting it go has that same concern as before. If the spade finesse is not working, East might win and lead through the clubs. And that'd be really unfortunate because we've actually got this jack of diamonds ready to drop a club loser. So if we've already a way to get rid of a club loser, then taking the ace of spades is the safe way. We give up on any chance. Well, we give up on anything except the small chance of a singleton's king of spades. We give up, the vast majority of our chance to avoid a spade loser, but we guarantee that we can use our jack of diamonds to drop a club loser. And now we happily lose a club and a spade, and we're good to go. Though we definitely should play spades first, because we don't want a stray heart rough happening somewhere. Alright. And then we are good to go. They only get one club trick. Alright. It did not fall at the last hurdle. I think then that 66 level 1 problems, 2 of them I got wrong, and one of them I described right, executed wrong. Definitely better than the last time. I think I want to say last time I got something like, I had 6 of them wrong. I had a year or two ago, the last time I played. Well, alright, so yeah, that's I'll fill in my spreadsheet here. We'll call that 63 correct, 1 near correct, and 2 wrong this time. Alright, and yeah, that is all level 1s. So I look forward to tackling level 2s, where there are definitely some more finicky things that will take some careful consideration, and I'm more likely to get little bits wrong, so it'll be more exciting. And hope you will enjoy those too.